Hey YouTubers, well, I got a video review for you guys this afternoon, and this one's a little bit different than most. I see a lot of you guys with the 2019 and 2024 Toyota Rav4s, and it's a pretty popular trend right now. Everybody's running like the Raptor lights in the grill. And you know, I know some of you guys like these, some of you don't, and that's fine. I mean, I don't care either way. But, you know, I wanted to put some in my car, and my car's white, so I wanted something to make the front of it stand out, and so I like these amber colored lights. Out of every one of the companies that sell these lights, you know, when I read through the reviews, you get mixed signals because, you know, they'll work at first, and then 3 months down the line, they quit working. And a lot of people, if you read through the reviews, it doesn't matter if it's on Temu or Amazon or, you know, just Google wherever you're looking, even on the Facebook groups and stuff. People say that they just quit working, and you'll see like moisture on the inside of the housing. I got to looking on Amazon, and some of the different brands on there can be rather expensive, you know, 30, 40 bucks or more. And, you know, I was on Temu a few weeks ago, and I found these. And I thought, you know what, they're $12.97. And you get the 4 lights, and then you get the bracket that mounts into the grill. Then you get the wiring harness, and then you get the tap for the fuse box. So I took a chance, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and order them, and if I have to do a little doctoring to them to make them waterproof, then so be it. So I got them in, and I was pleasantly surprised that the brackets that come with them are really thick, heavy made brackets. The way that they fit into the grill is perfect. Literally, I've got one of the brackets without a light in it in my car now, and it's been riding around in my car for several weeks, and it hasn't moved an inch. And these brackets are really solid. Now, the reason I like these brackets is because you can take the light, slide it through there. There's just enough freaking room when you pass that connector into that bracket that it'll fit. And then once you push it through there, then it's got these little tabs that push out on all 4 sides. So when you push it into that, it locks into place. Now, I haven't completely pushed it in because I don't want to have to fight with it to get it back out, but it fits in there nice and tight. And I'm very pleased with the fitment with the brackets and the fitment of the lights and the way they fit in there. But I want to show you just how bright these are. I'm going to go ahead and hook just one of them up. Got a battery right here. I'll leave the one light laying right there. We're just going to connect it real quick. You can see that they're pretty bright. They've got 6 SMD chips. It doesn't really tell how many lumens, but all I know is a lot of times the reason that these go out is moisture or vibration. So I thought, well, if I could fix these and make these more bulletproof, and, you know, if they last 6 months or a year, they're only 12, 13 bucks. You know, I can get more. But I was afraid that since they're on Temu, that if I didn't buy several sets at a time, then, you know, next time I went to order them, I might not get the same set. So anyways, I ordered 3 sets. So if you buy 1 set, it's $12.97, but they charge you $3 for shipping. If you buy over $30 worth, you get free shipping. So I thought, well, why not just buy 3 sets of them? And if I have one of the lights that goes bad, I just unplug it and replace it, and I don't have to fool with it. So like I said, I don't know what kind of quality they are. Now, everything about these looks really high quality. They've got this weather pack connector, and when you push it on here, it seals really good. I mean, it pushes together, and I mean, it makes a waterproof connection. This can be improved upon right in here by putting dielectric grease on it to make that connection, you know, greasy where water can't get in there. I know it's a weatherproof connector there. I get that, but I'm gonna put a little dielectric grease on that, connect them together, and that should be as waterproof as you could get in that connector. And if, let's say, one blows down the line, yeah, I've got some extra. I bought 3 sets at $13 a set. You buy 3 sets, no shipping. That's not very much money, you know, to have that many backup lights. And if you have to replace them, all you do is just pull this connector apart, replace the light, and it's not a big deal to replace these. I didn't want something that I was gonna have to butt connector things together with and re-splice and have to put a new connector and heat shrink and all that crap in there each time. That's why I wanted these. So now that we know that these work, they're bright, the brackets fit into the grill perfect, I was happy with everything. But like I said, I wanted to go a step further. I wanted to waterproof. That way there's no moisture gets inside the lens. And then right here at the back where the wires enter into the light, right in there, it's not sealed up very good around those wires, and that's where the moisture is probably getting in. So my way of thinking is, why don't we seal the whole thing up with epoxy? And then right here on the back where the wires go into the housing, it's got a raised lip all the way around it. So why not just put epoxy in the whole thing and then seal it up here on the back? And I don't see how, it can get moisture in it at that point. It's impossible. Plus, it's going to make this little housing even stronger. Even though this is ABS plastic and it's strong, it can still be broken. So you put epoxy in there, that thing's going to be hard as hell. I found this epoxy on Temu. It was $5.69. It's just a 2-part epoxy. You pour equal parts and of each one. You've got 4 ounces of each. So this kit right here should be able to do all 3 sets of the lights that I have. Now this little kit comes with some gloves that I'm not going to wear. It comes with these little eyedropper things I'm probably not going to use. It comes with some little paddles to mix it up. It comes with 2 little mixing cups. And then it comes with these like little finger condoms. I don't know what the hell these are. You could give these to your buddy as a prank and make fun of his little Peter or something. I don't know. But anyways, for $5, I thought that was a really good deal. But then I got to thinking, I need some way to get that epoxy into the light. And I know that's what you guys are wondering, how are you going to get epoxy down into this? Well, I noticed when I was looking at the light, I noticed that there was a little opening beside the negative wire. I mean, it's right where the wire goes in, but there's just enough room to slide a syringe needle down in there and squirt the epoxy in there. So that's where I bought what's in this. This was $7.99. What it is a craft syringe kit. It's got 99 pieces in here and it's got a bunch of syringes. So I thought I could suck up the epoxy once I got it mixed and squirt it in around that wire and fill it full of epoxy, the whole thing. So that's what we're gonna do here today, and I hope that it works. I've not tried it yet, but I wanted to try it, and if it works and it seals these things up, prevents water from coming in there, this could be an awesome way to have some cool lights that don't get moisture in them, that's gonna last you a long time. So stick around, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe right now. I just like doing this stuff for fun. I like to tinker and stuff like that. On these weather pack connectors, you can see that they are waterproof and all that, but I like to use this super lube. And pretty much what this is a fancy dielectric grease, and you just take a Q-tip, squirt some of that grease on there, and go around and stick it in those channels on that weather connector, and that way it'll prevent water from getting up in there. And then on the back side of this connector, if you want to take and dab some epoxy on there, you can do that. If you want to take some hot glue, you can do that, and really just seal it up, guys. Spend a few extra minutes prepping this stuff and getting it all ready before you install it in the car and you have problems later. I only want to do this one time. I'm old and I don't have patience to keep doing this shit. It pisses me off if I have to do things over and over again. So first things first, we're going to use the bigger syringe that come with that kit, the syringe kit, and then they've got different little needles that you can screw onto the bottom of the syringe, and these are just little craft needles. You're not going to get hurt with them, and then they come with some little tips to go on there. What we're going to do, we've got all 3 sets, so there's 12 LED lights here, and once we fill them up with epoxy through the hole there on the negative cable, hopefully it'll go around the light housing and distribute down into the amber part of it. I'm hoping it will, and not take a lot of time to do it. And then once I get it filled up with epoxy, I hope to be able to just slide this in here and let it rest overnight and, you know, not make a mess. And if it does drip out or whatever, it's on cardboard. So hopefully this goes as to plan. So next, I went ahead and opened up the lids on these, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it half and half. I'm only going to do 1 cup at a time just to get an idea, so I'm not pouring it all out at once and ruining a whole $5 worth of epoxy. But I'm going to go ahead and mix it in here 1 part to 1 part. You at least have a towel nearby because this crap it's nasty. In fact, I'm probably just going to mix it right on top of here. So I'm going to mix it half and half. And yeah, this stuff is really thick, and it's supposed to dry clear, and it's supposed to be harden pretty quick. Now, I looked on Temu, and I don't know what their version of quick is. You know, we might be looking at, you know, some epoxy can dry in like 5 minutes, and other epoxies, you know, can take 24, 48 hours. You know, on some of those wooden table where they do the epoxy tops, some of those can take weeks to cure. So I have used epoxy a lot through the years. This is not my first time. I like using it. It's fun as long as you don't get it on your skin. And then use these little wooden sticks to stir it up. And when you stir it, you just want to kind of slowly stir it so you don't get a bunch of bubbles in there. Now, obviously, that doesn't make a big bit of difference here because it's going inside that light. So if it does have some bubbles in it, it's not the end of the world. I've never used this Temu epoxy, so I figure for $5, what the hell, let's try it. And if it works, then I'm happy. If it don't work, I'm out $5. Now, the syringe kits, my biggest fear is it not being able to be sucked up through those needles. So I'm having to make this video, and if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, then, and it won't suck it through those needles, the syringes, then I probably won't put this video out there because I'll look like an idiot. But that was the only way that I could figure out to get the epoxy into the light without drilling a hole in it. And that might be an option as well. I might have to drill a hole into the amber part of the light with just a small drill bit and put epoxy in it that way. All right, so we got it mixed, we got it stirred up. When you stir it, like I said, don't go too fast. It'll put some bubbles in there, but you know, if you get a few bubbles, it's fine. And what I'm going to do now is I went ahead and put that needle on there pretty tight. At least it's thick enough to where it don't look like it's just going to want to, you know, pour out of there very easy, be runny. Well, at least I can push it through the syringe. Might have put a little too much in there. Alright, so now it's dripping out the syringe. What I'm going to do is feed it in right beside that black wire, the negative wire. And push it down in there. Don't know if it's gonna push through there, but that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I can always take and drill a little hole in them with a drill bit and pour it in there that way. I'm just gonna put the cap on that for now. I'm gonna go get a little drill bit and start drilling these out, because you can see right there, while it did seal those wires up, did a good job at that, but I've still got to get it into that housing right there, not making a mess. So plan B, and that's no big deal. I thought about this before. If I couldn't feed the epoxy in through the back beside the negative wire, I was just going to take a tiny little drill bit and drill a little hole right there in that ABS plastic, far away from the LED chips where it won't harm them. And that way, you know, if I get any shavings down in there, it's not going to be seen. I mean, that's amber color. So I'm going to take this 5/64 drill bit, and I'm just going to drill a little hole right there in the center. And there you go. It takes about 2 seconds to drill that, and you know, well, that'd be plenty enough room to feed this needle down into. And again, like I said, make sure you keep a little paper towel or something handy, because you don't want this crap getting on your skin. And then what I'm going to do is just take and put that needle in there and squirt that epoxy in there. And as you can see, it's going in there. You know, I tell my girlfriend all the time, you know, if something, you know, in your life happens, you know, you can't get it to work, don't stop, don't cry, just keep going, find another way to fix it, just keep going. If I sit down and cried about all the negative crap that life has dealt me, I probably wouldn't even be alive, truthfully. I would get so tore up. But I tell you what, I just keep on going and keep on moving forward, and try to do the best that I can every day. And the good news is, if you get this crap on the lens, you can wipe it off, and you can put the hole on the bottom so nobody even sees that there was a hole in it to begin with. So if you're worried about, oh, somebody's going to see that hole, nope, it's not even going to be seen, guys. And I'm just going to wipe that excess off, and you can see right there, it's not even pouring out the back where the wires are. I guess it's sealed up right there in the front. And once I let this dry, then I can come back later, once it's dried real good, maybe in the morning, and put some epoxy around those wires, and that way it'll be sealed here in the front, sealed in the back, and you got a nice sealed up light. And don't have to worry about moisture getting in the front to the LEDs or in through the wires. And this light will be bulletproof, guys. I mean, literally, it'll be bulletproof. All right, guys, so this is light number 2. I filled up the first one, and you can see I've got probably about a little more than half of a syringe left. So I might be able to get maybe 2.5 lights with one syringe. So I'm just going to stick it in there again. Now, it should be a lot easier for me to push it through here now, since don't have it so filled up so much. But it does take, I don't know, maybe a minute or so per light to fill it up with epoxy. And you know, I found that it's best to keep the light pointed on one end, and that way you can tell easier where it's getting full, and you can watch it fill up and try to get as much of, you know, any kind of air pocket out of there, so it's nice and sealed up and there's no chance for moisture to get in there. Having to push down at the same time, it does make your thumb a little tired, I will say. I'm sure my poor thumb's going to be hurting by the time I do 12 of these lights. So y'all take a minute and remember how bad my thumb hurts, and like and hit that subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate it. And you can see I did glop up a nice little mess there on top. I poured out a little too much, and that's fine. Wanted to make sure that there was as much epoxy in there as I could get in there without leaving much of an air bubble. It is not rocket science at all. And again, you know, I know you're gonna have some residue on here. You just wipe it off, and then I'm gonna take and put this inside the cardboard box. Now I will say that on this one here, it did drip out a little bit out the back, so you know, might make a little bit of a mess. But the only part I don't want there to be a mess on is the front amber lens, you know, just simply because that's what's going to be seen. If you know, you get any on there, just wipe it up. I keep a box of rags next to me in case I need some rags to put on here. But you know, if a little bit drips out right here and sticks to the cardboard box, I'm completely fine with that, because I can scrape it off and this will still pop in that housing. Like I said, the only thing I'm concerned about is the amber light housing on the front. I want to keep it nice and pristine. Got about 10 more to do, so I'm gonna quit rambling, run my mouth, and start getting these things drying. All right, guys, so we filled all of them up. We had to drill a little hole in the very top of them. You can see, you know, there's a little bitty teeny hole, and we filled them up. Now they do have a couple of bubbles in some of them, and that's fine, because you know, if water just gets inside that bubble, it's got nowhere to go. It's sealed up. I mean, you know, it's not like it can get to the LED chips. It's not like it can get to the wiring. You know, your bubble is right there. And besides, when we install these, we're going to put it with the hole facing downward. So, you know, if water does get in there, it does have a way to escape. And, you know, it seems like it's done a pretty good job. Now, we have learned something. We have learned that the amber lens is not attached to the black part very well. We had 2 of them blow out when we were squirting the epoxy in there. They started leaking, and not bad. We just went ahead and stuck some blue tape around them just to keep them from leaking, and then we kind of angled them up. As you can see, we've got them kind of angled up, so you know, if it does leak out, it's going to just be on that painter's tape, and we can just pull it off. And you know, if we have to scrape some off with a razor knife, then so be it. It ain't going to be a big deal. But as you can tell, they're all, you know, just filled up the best that we could get them. And you can see right there, there's a little air bubble right there in the top right corner, but you know, they're sealed up, and so shouldn't be able to have any problems out of them. And if they vibrate, they shouldn't vibrate anymore since they're sealed up like this. And if they get moisture gets in back behind the wires, it ain't got nowhere to go. So I don't see how it can cause any kind of moisture or vibration leak. You know, if you guys look at some of your, you know, race car electronics, like an MSD ignition for race cars, you know, they have electronic circuitry boards on there, and they put epoxy around that circuitry board just to keep the vibration down and keep you know, moisture out of the electronics. And them things are in race cars that are vibrating, and with the big cams in them and all that. So I figured, hell, if it'll work for an MSD ignition, then we can put epoxy in here and it should work great. So we'll test these out tomorrow and see how they dry, and see if there's, you know, a bunch of hassle that I'm gonna have to deal with, and we'll come back and let you know. So we're gonna get some sleep. It's kind of late, and we'll pick this up, make a video and installation on this tomorrow.